What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for jumping into another episode. I'm excited to share with you guys a little bit about what happened in the news today that actually caused the stock market to, well, go up and go down and go up and go down. I will tell you that today was actually a successful market trading day. And for all my average Joe day traders out there, guys, you know you made money. If you didn't make money, drop me a comment and tell me why you didn't make money. There's no way you didn't make money. And we're going to talk about some of the stocks and how they performed today. You had to have made money, guys. All right? I made money. I know my brother-in-law made money. So hopefully you guys did make money. Hopefully you day traded the stocks we've been talking about. Again, not financial advice, but the ones I share with you guys that I day trade day in and day out, guys, rocked today. But if you didn't know where to get out, or you didn't see the, hey, you stayed your welcome too long and got out based on the candles, then yeah, I could see how people maybe are bag holding tonight. But let's talk a little bit about that. First, let's talk about the news, because we did have a lot of stuff hit the market news-wise today. First of all, the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, the NASDAQ, they all showed gains, okay? Pretty incredible. They all showed gains today. The Dow Jones up 0.62%, okay? The S&P 500 up 0.58%, and the NASDAQ up 1.0%. Guys, I keep saying like, oh, is it 9? Is it 10? 11? I don't even know how many days it is now, but we have had steady, every day, green results, closing the market green. And it just continues. Either way, though, we really believe that the reason why all three rallied and went green today is pretty much we think it was boosted by, a lot of the optimism around the potential for this trade deal between the United States and the United Kingdom. And we did have some bad earnings results. I'm going to share one of them with you because is one of my long-term holds and a day trade stock, SoundHound. It actually, right before market closed, and when the market closed at 4 o'clock, was launched up, rallied up past $10. And then I thought that was actually the earnings report. I thought they had released earnings, and it went from like $9 and I don't know, 40 or 50 something cents all the way up to a $10 wick. I thought that was the earnings, but no. Then all of a sudden we got a red candle that literally went straight down, and that was their earnings report. But it did recover. It did come back about probably 50% of where it was. And at the end of the day, I don't really care about that, guys, because it was a longer term hold. We'll look at that in a couple of minutes. NVIDIA shares rose, and again, we believe potentially due to the report that Trump's administration plans to repeal the Biden AI chip export restrictions. There were some laws put in place by President Biden, his administration, about AI and about chips, and that Trump was also talking about how he was putting a hold that we weren't going to send any chips to China. So there's a lot there between Biden's plan that President Trump has basically signed an executive order to remove, and the AI chip export restrictions. So today, guys, we actually had some pretty strong across all sectors, really, with the exception of healthcare, consumer defensive, and utilities. And it's funny because utilities, one that I told you guys is a safe trade, and it still is, but they had several utilities that actually went down with how the market was actually going up. But technology, financial services, industrial, energy, real estate, basic materials, all were on a run. Technology actually had a almost 29% increase. Financial services, 16%. Consumer cyclical was 10%, almost 11%. Healthcare was almost 10%. So it was a very strong day across most sectors. And then I kind of never talk about this, guys, but I just figured I'd throw that in there and share. I think I mentioned once before in one of my videos that I am, also heavy into the cryptocurrency market. I have Bitcoin, I have XRP, Solana, So I'm in that side of the market stuff as well. And Bitcoin today basically had almost 5% increase, went up about $4,700, $102,930.26 close. It was at 98, 99, so to rally up to almost 103,000 is pretty incredible. Obviously, crypto was happy with the market, and Besant talking about how he wants the United States to be the crypto, digital asset capital, basically kingdom of the world. So that had some play on that too. The last thing, obviously, you guys know that Trump had a press conference today, and he talked a lot about what was going on with the market and his tax plan, and that the big, awesome, amazing, wonderful tax plan is coming. It's on its way. And there's a lot of discussion out there, right now talking about how they believe Trump's plan to increase taxes on the rich is actually going to hit U.S. businesses as well. So we'll kind of see how that plays out, because everybody keeps saying, oh, no, I've watched some YouTubers, oh, they're killing your Social Security, they're killing child care, they're killing health care, they're taking away, all these benefits from you, And, I'm not seeing that personally. I'm seeing that there's a tax plan, when it's rolled out. I think it's the opposite of that, guys, I'll be honest with you, but we'll wait and see. Anyway, we are in a bull market right now, guys, and the S&P 500 is really geared up for this. They've set some targets based on the volatility, to see if, in fact, it's a bullish market. The S&P 500 really has managed to hold on to most of the gains it's made since early April. And it's risen between 5,700 and 5,800, which, as you know, I always share with you, when you hear people talk about a 5,700 number, they're talking about $570 when you look at the actual stock. But we believe it's going to, overcome some resistance and close over 5,800. And then it continues to show that it's bullish. If it doesn't, then, they may drop down and hit some support levels, 5,440, 5,300, 5,100. We'll see what it does. But right now, the S&P 500 had a beautiful record day, and I'm going to put up on the screen here the S&P 500 so you can see what it looked like through the day and closed out. All right, let's talk a little bit about our day trade stocks and what those look like today. So we'll start with SoundHound today. I love to start with APLD, but let's start with SoundHound. So you can see that it had clearly closed at around $9.17, ran horizontal through the post-market. Pre-market, 4:30 in the morning, it hit a beautiful green candle, and it opened up at 9:34, and you got kind of this big gap fill. So we knew that at some point the stock was going to drop down to fill the gap, and that's exactly what happened later in the day with earnings. But we got up there, 9:46 close, continued up, 9:65. Guys, it wicked and hit all the way up past my blue sky resistance level, $9.98, wicked at 10, and then it kind of, came back down, and then earnings caused it to drop all the way down here, back down to $9.25. It got to its lowest point here of $9.23. It did close at $9.74, but it's sitting right now post-market at $9.24. So we'll see what happens with that, guys. But still an amazing stock to be in, an amazing company. And there was a lot of talk today about the future of AI, and some analysts saying that AI is not something that they believe it's played out. They believe that AI is not going to continue to be anything that's important to us. But the fact is, and I believe, my opinion, we're just getting started in AI, guys. I mean, honestly, we're just getting started. So if I were you, in my opinion, I would start to look at the AI stocks, decide which companies you like based on your research, and I would get into some of them and let them run, let them ride, see what they do. And I'm not talking about day trading or tomorrow. Potentially these could be, long holds or swings, but I'm in them, and I continue to buy into these dips. And today was a great money-making day, and I'm very excited. SoundHound itself, you can see here that we went from this basically $9.41 and ran all the way up to this $9.76. So a great opportunity to make a lot of money in SoundHound today. And I did. SoFi is another one that's just been really impressing the snot out of me, guys. I mean, same thing, Post market, ran horizontal, huge gap up, which you got to be careful because it didn't quite fill the gap yet. But it gapped up and opened up at $13.26, ran to $13.36, hit $13.47 on a wick, and then it dropped down at the post market 4 o'clock, and it's been running horizontal, sitting at $13.26, right where it closed. So we'll see what SoFi does. I'm keeping my eye on it, guys. I told you I was wanting it back in the 1250 range. That's what I'm sort of waiting to see if it gets back down in that range. But if it trends like this for multiple days, guys, and I go a week plus and it's staying within the $13 range, then that's going to be my new, charting canal. And, that channel that it'll live in, and I might have to make it back to being a day trade stock for me because it always did well. Ford also surprised me today. You had some opportunity to make money right about 11:30. It opened at 10.29, ran up to $10.33. Not big, and I've told you guys, Ford is not big, but I will tell you that Ford overall has been a positive stock with finishing green and the percentage of improvement in the stock value. It closed at 10.28. It's sitting at 10.31 right now. Again, we'll see what happens with Ford. All right, my favorite, guys, APLD. Look at this thing. It was a monster today. Okay, we did fill the gap from the middle of the night post. It the last candle opened and closed 522 to 524. We then gapped up at 4:30 in the morning and hit 532 open to 538. And honestly, we had some horizontal movement through the pre-market. Once the market opened, we had this crazy news from the White House, all kinds of stuff with AI, all kinds of stuff with Applied Digital, actually joining forces with another company that's going to be depending on it for its data centers. This thing could not do anything but go up, guys. And man, was I super happy. It got as high as $5.61. It closed at $5.50. It's sitting at $5.48. I really think that, I kept saying to you guys, it's going to hit the $5 mark. We're going to get over $5. We're going to get over $5. Well, now we're at $5.50. And I feel pretty confident, depending on what the news brings, depending on more trade news, the tariff news, there's potential that we could get close to $6 tomorrow, being Friday, but I'm not sure because Fridays are very stagnant days. They're usually very slow days. So we will see what the market does for that. Guys, a couple things I want you to look at for tomorrow. Obviously, APLD is one. Ford is another one. What will I be trading in tomorrow aside from APLD? I'm back in the Wolf game, WULF. If you look at Wolf today, it opened up at 317, ran all the way up here to 338. Basically a 20 cent per share, opportunity. So a good chance to, buy low at $3 roughly and make some money on it. But Wolf is one. WOLF is another one. And let me see if I can find it here on my charts. Okay, Wolf. The reason why I'm basically telling you guys that I'm interested in Wolf is that Wolf had earnings today, okay? And in their earnings, you can see what happened here. They had a horrible response. They had a good day. You could have day traded Wolf, WOLF, starting at $4.18 and ran it all the way up to about $4.53. That's a pretty strong, almost 30 cents plus. I'm terrible at math, guys, so don't check my math, but it's about 30 something cents. And then it dropped out. It pretty much went from $4.54 and it came all the way down to $3.36, and it's sitting at $3.56 right now. So here's the thing. I'm watching this one tomorrow morning. And if we have some positive movement on the S&P 500, chances are I'm going to be buying into Wolf in the morning. To see what happens. Right now it's at a stop point, 356 per share. But we've got all this pre-market, and then to see what it's going to do between pre-market and market open. Wolf, WOLF, may be the one to make some good money in tomorrow, guys, because this is pretty strong drop. And I did hear from some of the guys in my Discord, they sort of anticipated this and were in puts. So options traders made their money. It printed for them today. Anyway, WOLF. Let's go to NVIDIA, which is not a day trade, but guys, it was at 118 at one point. It actually went all the way to 119.45. So if you're looking for some longer term hold stock, it did fill this gap fill from the early morning into the market open, but a good long-term stock. And we mentioned SoundHound already. JetBlue is another one, guys, that really has surprised me. I'm in JetBlue, but it's a longer-term hold. Pretty happy with JetBlue right now, guys. You know that they actually were purchased by Sky Leasing. They were acquired. So I thought for sure that this stock was probably going to, take a dump, and at some point we'd be waiting for it to come back. But look at this day today, guys. I mean, you literally could have day traded JetBlue at $4.52 and ran it to the top and paid attention to the candles. Okay, obviously this is the 30-minute, but $4.89, almost $4.90, guys. I mean, what a beautiful launch for JetBlue. $4.54 all the way up here to $4.89. I mean, that's incredible, right? When you look at that from a 5-minute perspective, look at this thing. It was a monster today. And I didn't trade it. And I think this is the second time I've said I've not traded JetBlue. And I'm telling you, man, it's one I used to day trade all the time because it's not volatile. It runs consistent. So, guys, I'm going to be looking at JetBlue tomorrow. Anyway, that's enough. You pick which ones you need to be looking at, what you want to look at too. BBAI is another one. Had some similar results today. Look at this from pre-market. Let me go back to the 30. Look at this from the pre-market, whoops, horizontal, kind of running up, and then it went up, and it did just continue to be stagnant right here. But you're basically saying from $3.12 to $3.28. So it closed at $3.25, holding at $3.25. Anyway, guys, a lot of opportunity to make money, guys. But do me a favor. Don't trade your mortgage. Don't trade your rent. Don't trade your car payment. Don't trade the money you need to purchase food. Put groceries in the refrigerator, food on the table, feed your kids. If you have money set aside just for trading, let it be just that. And don't go back into the account and get more money if you're down. Don't sell. My advice, okay? My advice, and this is not really giving you financial advice of what to put your money in, but my advice is there are certain stocks that you purchase because you did your research, you did your homework about the company that dropped. Understand the reason why they dropped and don't sell, okay? Most of the time, people I talk to that always say like, oh my gosh, Josh, I got into SoundHound and I lost so much money. Okay, did you sell the stock? No. How much are you down? Oh, I'm down $1,000. Okay. What do you think could potentially happen to SoundHound in the next few days or the next couple weeks or the next month? Well, it might go back up. Okay, did you lose anything? No, you're down, guys. When you purchase a house for $400,000 and the market turns and the house is now worth $250,000, did you lose $150,000? No, you still own a house. And in a couple of years, the market comes back and then your house is worth $700,000. Okay, don't freak. Don't live and accept the fear. There's fear mongers out there that want you to be afraid. Okay? Day trading is awesome if you understand candlesticks, you understand the patterns, you know your resistance and support levels, and I can't tell you guys that enough. If you don't, then you are trading blind and you are going to lose because you don't know when to get in, you don't know when to get out. You're going to have FOMO, fear of missing out and jumping in too high. You're going to have ROMO, which is regret of missing out, and you're going to buy into something and stay in it too long, and then you're going to end up bag holding. Guys, don't do it. Okay? That is my advice. All right? Guys, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. Drop a comment. Let me know what I can do different in this channel for you guys to help you guys. All right. I've got some great individuals that love to comment and talk and ask questions. Thank you guys. Love that. And I will continue to answer every single, comment that comes in. I promise that. Guys, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit that notification bell so you'd be notified every time I upload a new video. Guys, Josh, peace out.